Thanks for joining in today for a little bit of a reflection video on the realities of tarot. Tarot in action this week. Um, so, I guess first things first, if you haven't seen the week ahead reading from April 21st, have a look at it. It's just been one of those weeks where the cards are just like so darn accurate and just provided me some reassurance, some guidance, some knowledge that I shouldn't like freak out on everything this week and instead of like focusing on I don't know if you noticed my for fox's sake little stitch thing back here. The cards really were leading that way this week, and definitely wanted just to come back to them and just share kind of how they impacted, not impacted, but how they were integrated in my week this week. So one of the first card was the energy this week, and that was the reversed temperance card. And so this card is things out of balance. You're just so focused on one thing, just giving it your all, and just everything else is out of balance. And you just maybe can't see beyond what you're working on. So this reading just resonated so much with current work situation for me. And so we have been working on a big event. We've been working on an event for like months, and it has taken all of our attention and our focus and our energy, and probably to the detriment of other things. Like, we really wanted this event to be like awesome and amazing and spectacular at work. And so when we have gotten out of balance the last week, um, like the stress levels elevated among everybody on the team, stress through the roof, anxiety, just like lack of confidence and lack of abilities, just complete, just kind of like discontent and just like bewilderment about why this event wasn't taking off the way we wanted it to do. Another card this week was the reversed Seven of Pentacles, and this whole card is about feeling dissatisfied with the results, feeling dissatisfied with um, the progress of all your hard work, which was exactly what our entire team, and this wasn't restricted just to me, our whole team just felt it this week. Like, holy man, like all this hard work, months of hard work, and it not getting us anywhere. Um, and so we have to, we can continue. We could have continued out of balance, and stressing and being all like crazy about these things that weren't happening and weren't working for us. Or we could like take this card and be like, hey, let's ask ourselves some questions. Did we truly put our full effort into the event? Did we put our full range of talents and expertise? Did we get the right people in place? When we ask those questions, we're like, check, 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 check. Yes, 100%. Okay, so now maybe we're dealing with things that are just simply out of our control. And that's always hard when, outside things that just shouldn't be impacting are impacting. And so we had to ask ourselves that. We also had to have a conversation this week about whether it was worth still pursuing the hard work, and if, perhaps the concept of this event just isn't going to pan out at this time. can we pivot? Can we refocus? Can we not just keep churning and churning and churning and trying to force it to become something that we had hoped it would come to, right? So, we had to have those conversations, and I had to think about this card several times this week, just as I was, when we're talking with the team and trying to figure out what to do and where to go and why were we all feeling the exact same way, and what was truly happening in relation to this event that we had all dedicated months to, and it's just not panning out to the expectations that we had. Another question this card kind of inspired me to ask was also, what were our expectations outlandish? Were they just not achievable? Like, were they just nonsense? Like, did we just make this stuff up? And we asked a few, you know, arm's length people about it, and just like, what do you like? Did we miss the mark? And and no, it's just timing or energy of the world around us. We're not quite sure, but we we had to use this card a lot this week just to figure out, okay, have we do we need to be so hard on ourselves? Um, you know, or do we need to, this was another card. This was the action to take this week. This was Five of Swords. And it reminds me again to take what we have. She's carrying 2 swords, 3 swords she's leaving behind. What of this process do we leave behind? Um, and what can we take and pivot and head down a different path, so that all of our work isn't wasted and it still has value? And how can we adjust that and try something a little bit different? So, with that in mind, of like, okay, let's take what we can, leave behind what's, an an unwinnable battle. Um, let's leave those elements behind and see what we can salvage from the event, and adjust and try something new. And so, yeah, now it's Friday, and the Four of Swords was the opportunity this week, and it was to take some time to reflect, rest, step back, reevaluate your plans for your next immediate moves, but just to sit back, relax, um, rethink things, catch a breather. And again, so there was a day this week that there was nobody in the other side of our office. And so I went over there and sat in, we have these awesome soundproof work booths over there. And I spent the whole day just basically by myself, just like working in this little closed in space. And it was wonderful. It was just like, okay, I could think about all these things. I could think about the energy, the opportunities, the actions we could take to try to tackle the dissatisfaction that we have with this work event. So yeah, I just was feeling so like needed to share the realities of tarot, and when they, when it makes sense and it connects to something. I mean, it's often bang on, but I don't always share my inside connections with things, because I never want to influence people or make you feel like you need to think a certain way. But I think it's also good for everyone to understand how I do truly use tarot and how it helps me literally on a day-to-day basis. And it just helps me keep perspective and not go down a rabbit hole sometimes, because I think this week could have gone very, like, even worse sideways, if I hadn't tried to be mindful of all these things. And it was super helpful for me this week. So I don't know. That's how I use the reading. So I would invite you to make sure you just go back and watch that week ahead reading for April 21 and just see the extra insights there. But I wish you a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And let's make sure we take advantage of the opportunity from the week. Four of Swords, rest, relax, take a breather, stay connected. Okay, BeBrightTarot.ca, like, subscribe, follow, Instagram, YouTube, website. Feel free to message me, comment, ask for a card for yourself. Happy to do it. All right, have a great weekend.